Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. I think I'm live, and we're going to be talking about Cardano today. And I'm going to be sharing some stuff, and I think you guys are going to like it. Um, Thank you, Knight. Yeah, Jerry's cool, man. We chat as well here and there, and I get updates and things on what's going on. And there's some good stuff happening. There's some cool stuff happening with Apex. I think that Apex is definitely following in the footsteps of Cardano in the sense that I think it's going to take a little time for it to really get rocking. But once it does, I think it's gonna set some fires in the crypto space. Caught a live stream. Well, welcome. And it's late, it's 7 o'clock at night. I figured I wanted to go live today because there's some cool stuff going on, and it's definitely worth talking about. And karate combat is also happening this weekend in Miami. If you don't know, now you know. I just talked to somebody who goes to college in Miami. As a matter of fact, it's somebody I consider a very good acquaintance now. He's I guess he's one of the founders, one of the leading team members at Flux Charts. And we had a big talk today because I'm like, listen, man, I'm like, don't, I'm like, seriously, your SFX or SPX, I can't remember. I think it's SFX indicator. It's an algo indicator, and it's just fire. I mean, it works so good. It literally made me $600 on a trade this afternoon. And I'm like, dude, how does this thing work so well? Because I'm like, literally while we were on the phone, I told him, I was like, hey, I just got into a trade. I was thinking about getting into it, and then your indicator triggered a buy, or I noticed it had triggered a buy. So I got into it, and I set my stop loss at the first stop, or I set my take profit at the first take profit mark, and it hit while we were on the phone or while we were on this call. And I'm floored. And he explained how it works. And it's basically it's like a deep machine learning algorithm that, depending on your account at Flux Charts, it basically learns from more candles. So like the bigger your account, the more candles in history it learns from as it's processing the new stuff. And it's phenomenal, man. I'm going to actually, I need to change this. Hold on. Because I'm going to show some different things, not just this website. And it's like, how do you change? Hold on a second, folks. While the notifications are getting out to everybody, I figure it's better to play with this now. And that way you guys can see everything I'm working on and talking about. So Karate Combat, first and foremost, this Friday and Saturday, because this weekend is going to be an action-packed weekend in Miami with Karate Combat, because you're going to have two events. Friday night, tomorrow night, is basically an 8-man heavyweight tournament. And I'm like, what the hell? So you've got an 8-man heavyweight tournament, and then the following night on Saturday, you've got Alex Pereira's sister fighting again. You've got a title belt. These guys are good, man. Honestly, I'm more excited about tomorrow night. And you guys are going to be able to watch it live. If you're not in Miami, you can watch it live on YouTube. Their production is unbelievable, man. And I also noticed that the Karate Combat pit was kind of inspiration for UFC's new Jiu-Jitsu league, which I found interesting. UFC, of course, made it different enough. But I when I first saw the new UFC show, I thought to myself, wow, they really, where did they get this idea? But anyway, this is going to be a really big event. So yeah, tomorrow and Saturday, I am planning on being there Friday, so tomorrow, and it's going to be a good time. If you do happen to go, like I said, man, I'm all for it, taking pictures and stuff and all that. Just give me a little tap and say hello, and happy to do a photo if you want. So we're going to talk about where is it? We're going to talk about this. This is an article that I posted today on cryptocrow.io, and it's something that I've been wanting to do for a little while, and I just didn't get around to doing it. And this is probably going to blow your mind a little bit. I mean, you've been seeing a lot of stuff, right? You see a lot of predictions. I've done a lot of Cardano predictions, but if you keep in mind that I did when was the first time when I thought Cardano would hit $8 and all the calculations I did associated with that? It's been years. I mean, it's been a few years. And I feel like oftentimes my prediction, even in trading, like with my day trading that I've been doing, I'm getting better and better, and I'm getting more patient and all of that. I'm in a trade right now that's down, as a matter of fact. I got in one before I set this up. But I'm going for that second take profit. Thank you, Flux Charts. If it hits, I'll let you guys know. But I think it should. It's just probably a matter of time. We'll see. Anyway, I don't want to jinx myself, but I am in a trade right now. And it's like I typically am really good at calling things, but my timing is generally off a bit. And so this time around, what I wanted to do was I wanted to feed Grok. I used the Deep Think model on Grok 3. I've been really going back and forth on getting the big one. And I really want to, but I haven't yet because I want Grok 4. And I might try to do the same thing with Grok 4 and see if there's any differences in what it tells me. But basically, here's what I did. I'm going to go ahead and full screen this for you guys so that you guys can see it a little bit better. Let me go ahead and make this a little bit bigger in terms of font. All right. So basically, and I don't generally share content that I do on cryptocrow.io because all of it is pretty exclusive. But for this one time, I'm going to share this with you because I think it's a big deal. So basically what I did was I fed Grok all these charts, right? Total market capitalization, different points of Cardano and Bitcoin's dominance, some of my charts in terms of price growth and that, the long-term dominance of Bitcoin as it relates to Cardano's price growth, just all kinds of data that I felt was very relevant to getting a handle on what's likely to come. You know, the charts for all of the historical price action against, market capitalization, everything, right? And so I fed all this stuff to Grok, and Grok ate it all up like candy. And this was my prompt. I said, Bitcoin's price right now is $118,493, and Cardano's price is 79 cents. Analyze the Bitcoin dominance to ADA price charts as well as the total market cap. Analyzing the patterns of how the total market cap grows as Bitcoin dominance drops while price increases until peaks. Then the value of Bitcoin flows into the altcoins as their dominance rises, primarily Cardano. What would you just basically let it know that that's the one I'm most interested in? What would you project ADA's price being by the end of August, September, October, and November of 2025, and then for giggles, and then the end of January of 2026? Please account for total market capital growth over those time frames, because that's why I fed it like basically roughly like the market cap grows. Now there are a couple of there's a caveat to this, and that this is all based on historical markets. It's all based on basically what has happened. What are the patterns associated with Cardano's growth against Bitcoin before it even had smart contracts, before it was the grand poobah that it is now in this bull cycle that everybody's finally realizing, before all of the regulations, everything is in favor of Cardano, how it's been decentralized. Just everything about it is almost like the flagship for crypto. I mean, it very much is becoming that. Let's be real about it, okay? And I know some people in other camps are getting a little frustrated with it, but I mean, it is what it is. And I mean, the tech is far superior, and that's really all there is to it. But anyway, let's get to some of the answers here. This goes over some of the nuances of like what's recent, right? Like what's recently happened. It's going over its evaluation of the charts that I provided it, basically letting me know, yes, it understands like what I fed it, why, all of that. Assumptions based on the growth of the market, all of that's good stuff. You can read it on the website. I want to get to the nitty gritty of this. By the end of August 2025, and we'll find out how accurate this is, But this is saying if the total market cap is to reach $7 trillion by the end of August 2025, which is absolutely possible based on previous growth, Bitcoin's dominance at just 60%, which right now it's at like 62%. So yeah, I think this could be pretty accurate. This is basically giving ADA's dominance just 1% by the end of August. With all of this in play, it's projecting a $2 Cardano. Okay. By the end of September, $8 trillion market cap, 36.8% growth, Bitcoin dominance dropping to 55%, ADA's dominance rising to just 1.5, which is crazy. But that alone is projecting it at $3.43 by the end of September. Now, this is the kicker here, because remember, I basically have been making a prediction that come October, it could be likely that Bitcoin actually peaks in October for this market cycle. And generally, after Bitcoin peaks, we still have like 2 to 3 months of the altcoin rally. It's that blow off top where a lot of the liquidity, a lot of that value flows out of Bitcoin and really sends it down to like the 40% range and into Cardano and other assets, right? And the altcoin. This is saying by the end of October, assuming like a $9 trillion market cap, which is absolutely possible, you're looking at a $5.14 ADA. Now, end of November, $7.14. That's if we were to get to a $10 trillion market cap. Why does this sound small? Because realistically, Trump and the administration, all the bills that just passed today, they're moving on to the next phases and stages and all of that, and they're all getting passed. And the thing is basically Trump has been talking about these bills, and when they pass, he's talking about $20 trillion entering the crypto space. This is half of that. This is based on just half of that. This is $10 trillion. This puts Cardano at $7.14 by the end of November. This would be a wild birthday month for me. Okay. My birthday's in November. And then I wanted to just skip ahead and say, okay, well, what about the end of January of 2026? This is basically saying, okay, well, if the total market cap continues to grow into January of 2026 to $11 trillion, that's putting Cardano at around $9.43, and that's at just a 3% dominance. Cardano's dominance generally hits around 4% by the peak of a market cycle, or by its peak of a market cycle. So that's pretty crazy. And that's about it. I mean, listen, I've done so many different predictions and calculations and things like that with Cardano, and that is by far, I would say that's by far one of the most accurate ways I can think to do it. Just throw all of it into a really good AI platform like Grok. I love Grok, man. I love Grok. I use it for everything. I even got my wife using it. We're all going to become AI addicts before long. But you're talking potentially a $10 ADA by January. And I think I think it's legitimate. I think it's very legitimate. And I'm not just being a bullish and stubborn. Listen, I've had my doubts on the market, the way everything has been so jacked around and so different this cycle. And I think this is legit, man. I really do. I think this is going to be on fire. Real quick, I want to point out there's a link down in the description below, and I really want you guys to check this out. This is Flux Charts. I'm telling you, this indicator's fire as hell, and I'm going to be doing a long test phase, and I'm probably going to do it on a really short time frame so that I can get more tests in. But this indicator that flashes these red and green, when this thing fires, it tells you where to put your stop loss and where your 3 take profit levels are. Let's put it this way. This hits so much more often than it doesn't. There's been, I think, 2 occasions that I've noticed over the past several weeks where the market went against the indicator, and it was always they were both during times when it was like a crazy parabolic Bitcoin price run. And that's all market maker movement. I mean, there's some retail in that, but it's mostly market maker movement. The SFX Algo Toolkit is by far my favorite element of this indicator suite. I really encourage you guys to, I'm not sure if there's a trial. I'm really not sure. I click the link and find out. If there is one, I suggest you try it, because I really do. I think you're going to start hearing more about flux charts in the not so distant future. I do think that there are going to be other people getting on board and using this and showing it off, because it really is ridiculous. This is Bitcoin's dominance. Yeah, it's dropped a bit since I've updated it last. It's down 5.86%. That's just, I mean, that's crazy. That's awesome. Now, here's the thing. Some people are going to say, wow, but the dominance, that dropped a lot lower back in December. It dropped all the way down to 54.5% in December. It did, but you know what didn't happen? Ethereum didn't pump. Ethereum didn't really move during much of this. Nothing did. It was just Bitcoin. And a lot of this was built on Bitcoin's ETF FOMO. And so people were diving into Bitcoin, and they were buying Bitcoin expecting everything to start taking off like a normal market, but it didn't. Bitcoin's dominance just continued rising. Everything reset, and now all the institutions are in play. They all have their different investment vehicles, and that was that. But now we are officially in the beginning phases of the altcoin bull market, and this is going to be getting crazier by the week. And you know, right now I am you know, the market maker method that I've been learning from Annie and her trade travel chill, all of that. I absolutely love her and everything she's done. But we printed a bit of a W down here. Where's my path tool? I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, because we've been hitting these marks. And oh, that's right, it's down here. So we got a bit of a W down here, which basically triggers a pattern of rising price action, right? And we got our first one here. This used to be a vector. This might be different a bit on, oh, that's wrong, because this is that was a 30-minute candle. That's not what I wanted. There we go. Now we're getting to the juice. So I love my 15-minute time frames. But anyway, we got a W here, which typically trigger, it represents like the bottom, right? We're due for basically 3 rises up to the upside. And generally what happens is we get these colored vector candles here. This is the first rise up of a 3-rise movement. And then we get a correction, a bit of a pullback. Generally, it's around the area that we start the first vector candle. It's not always the case, but sometimes. And then we start getting our second rise up. And we got that second rise up. Now we're getting a correction. I'm actually in a long trade right now that's, I'm sure, underwater at the moment. It broke through the high of the day. It's probably, I'm hoping, going to bounce off of this high of the week and then start its incline all the way back up to the third rise. It'll probably be somewhere, I'm going to hazard a guess, somewhere around 121.8-ish, something to that effect. And then quite honestly, I'm expecting a big retracement all the way back down to fill that CME futures gap at 114.8. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know 100% if that's going to be the case, because everything has been so bullish lately. But we'll see. And I'm generally trying to be as good as I can about updating everybody on cryptocrow.io. And this is actually the chart I was looking at earlier. But this is showing my current price prediction. I was telling Michael at Flux Charts today, I was like, listen, man, I have a chart where I was basically marking everything out, where I think the price action is going to be, and how I think, you know, it could very well be sometime in October. And I don't think Bitcoin peaks under $250,000. And this, I projected it a long time ago at about a 281,000. If we were to peak in October, then we'll probably basically head into November, December, and then January. January could very likely be the altcoin market peak. And if everything I just read and everything I just did with Cardano's price prediction, it would put Cardano at around $10 in January, which would be the peak, which would make all the sense in the world. So yeah, you know, I'm pretty pumped. And I mean, the total market cap, obviously, that's grown. You this is everything except for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that alone's at $1 trillion. Last market cycle, Bitcoin didn't even I think Bitcoin barely broke $1 trillion on its own. Was it the total market cap last cycle was only $1 trillion? So, I mean, it's just going to continue getting nuts, man. Make sure you check out Karate Combat. Just go to karate.com. And if you're not trading, I'll tell you guys straight up, I bet on all of the fights going on Karate Combat. I get the notification on my app. I bet, and then I convert a lot of my tokens into HBAR. And HBAR's been pumping. HBAR's been doing well. So I'm literally watching. You can watch fights on YouTube. Go watch the Karate Combat fights, but you need to vote first. Like, I think voting is still open. It might be open until tonight or maybe tomorrow morning, and then voting stops. I know that voting stops before the fights begin, and I think doors open at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. So, but you can easily. No, I haven't been saying $11.56 for years. I've been saying $8 for years. Where have you been? I don't even know where you got that number. Show me for years. Show me multiple instances where I've claimed $11.56. I'd love to see that. Educate me, please, because I might be just old. But anyway, you can basically make bets on these fights for tokens that you're getting for free. It's up only betting. So basically you're betting on the fights. If you win, then you get more tokens. Those tokens are immediately convertible into HBAR if you want to. But the more tokens you have, the more you can win when you bet. So it's kind of like, do I want the HBAR? Do I want to keep, accumulating karate tokens that maybe if I accumulate them every couple months and then I trade them in for HBAR? I mean, do what you want, but it's free money just to participate and watch the fights. And it definitely makes watching fights a lot more exciting when you feel you've got some vested interest in it, and it's up only, so you can't lose. So make sure you check that out. They've been supporting me for the longest time. Obviously, you guys know I fought at Karate Combat back in last year, and they took care of all of us, man. They always take care of all of us, and they do a really, really good job. Their production's second to none, honestly. I mean, I a lot of what they do to me, honestly, is even better than watching UFC. I will say some of the camera stuff that they've been doing with the UFC lately has been pretty good. I will say that, because they've been adding some cinematic effects. Anyway. But I love Karate Combat. I'm actually pretty excited. My wife's even excited. She likes going. She doesn't even like fighting. If I'm watching the pay-per-views or something like that, she acts all excited, and then we watch them, and she's just cringes the whole time when guys are taking shots. I'm like, he didn't feel that. Don't worry about it. He's not going to feel any of that until tomorrow. So let's take a look at your comments this evening. It's about 7:25. What have I been live? 22 minutes. Got about 1,000 people, 1,100 people. That's cool. I appreciate you joining me. Make sure you hit the like button if you don't mind. Maybe send this video out to the world so that everybody sees that Cardano could hit $10 by January. Personally, I think if it's going to hit $10, I think it's going to happen before January, if I'm honest. Crow, you so deserve to be right, and I wish you the very best in the final leg up. Thank you, Adrian. I appreciate that. You know what else I did? This is for my own ego, but I actually asked Grok today, who was the first YouTuber to talk about Cardano? And you know what it said? You're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. I don't believe it myself. Oh, well, let's just look at the whole conversation. Who are the first 5 YouTubers to promote Cardano in 2017? Because that's when Cardano launched. And research suggests Crypto Crow, Jason Appleton, was one of the first YouTubers to promote Cardano in 2017 with his first video dated December 13th of 2017. That's the one I shot out of my mortgage office. Yeah, it goes into early promoters. It talks about me a little bit more. Confirms it. Conclusion, Crypto Crow. Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you. But no, seriously, I wasn't even sure. So I asked Grok, and I used the deep research to make sure that it was accurate. And I was watching back then. Yeah, it's like, I know I've been a supporter of Cardano since the very beginning, and I know that it's been a rough hill. I mean, because I tell you what, Oh, it's not easy being green, man. When everybody's chasing the almighty dollar and a lot of them are ignoring technology, and or a lot of the influencers are just being shoveled cash to promote trash. And I'm a poet and didn't know it. Look at me tonight. Holy cow. But yeah, man, I mean, it's just like I really did. It's like I was so new. I've always been kind of a tech head, not smart enough to like understand half of what Charles says without looking it all up after the fact and like deciphering it all for everybody later. Oh, is my video about to start glitching out now? I don't know what's happening, man. Maybe I need new equipment. Maybe when Cardano hits $3, I'll go replace all my equipment. But yeah, I wanted to verify it myself because I wasn't 100% sure. So I'm very bullish. I'm very happy. You know what? And I will also say that IOHK, there's a director from IOHK reached out to me recently because I guess he saw that I wasn't going to Rare Evo. And I don't know. I really don't like, I've basically made it. I said, Charles and I had our little tiff, and I don't know if it's that big of a deal. I mean, there were just things that I said to him that I just felt needed to be said, but said in private for the most part. And then I basically put down, like, everybody kept asking me, like, did you see this? Did you see that? What do you think about that? Are you still holding? Are you still a Cardano bull? How could you be? How could you? And just all this stuff. And so I basically just shared my honest thoughts, right, on Twitter. And Charles didn't like it very much. He didn't come at me or anything. He didn't like message me like, oh, how dare you? It wasn't like that. I had messaged him again about something. And, and he basically said, you kind of chewed me up on X there. And I'm like, no, I was just being honest. I mean, like, I was just basically sharing exactly what I felt. Like, yeah, you say a lot of things that you probably shouldn't. You're a leader of an entire community worth billions and billions of dollars, and you should probably like dot your I's and cross your T's and be a little more cautious. And then we talked a little bit about like the Ford thing, which, he's like, man, I've spent millions of dollars on Ford and this and that. And I'm like, that's cool, but it doesn't really give you, like, you've got builders that are putting their lives, their livelihoods, their money, their time, everything into building on your blockchain. I'm like, you just need to be more aware, right? Like my wife, I always joke with my wife because she always runs into door frames. And I'm like, how are you so oblivious to the world around you sometimes? Like, you have to pay more attention. And that's kind of what I was trying to get across to Charles. And it got a little heated, nothing crazy, but it was kind of like we hung a phone up on each other, right? And like I felt bad because like he took a lot of what I said the wrong way. And I don't know if this was Charles doing, I'm doubting it, but I don't know. But somebody from IOHK reached out and said, we really would like to have you at Rare Evo. What do we need to do to get you out there? And offered to help cover a lot of like the expenses associated with the travel and the hotel and everything. And I was just I was surprised. And a part of me wondered, like, is this Charles' way of saying, like, let's just get over the bullshit? You know what I mean? Like, or did Charles not have anything to do with it at all? I don't know. But regardless, I'm not going to be able to make it. My big thing, I cannot do connected flights, man. If I get on a plane somewhere, I will get on the plane, but I cannot get on a plane, get off, run around an airport, get back on. I can't do all that. I can't. My nerves can't handle it. No part of me can handle it. And my wife was looking up flights and things, and she's like, there are no straight through flights right now. And I'm like, well, then unfortunately, we're just not going to be able to make it because I just can't do it. But anyway, if it was Charles that put that birdie in the sky or whatever, thank you, dude. I really do appreciate it. I'm not attending because of any of the silliness. And if it wasn't Charles, well, you know what? Thanks anyway, man. I don't know why. I've always kind of looked at Charles as a friend, and like, I've had a lot of serious conversations with all my friends at different times. They've had conversations with me about things, and I don't know. Maybe he just looked at everything differently than I do. I even said something similar to that effect. I don't even remember what it was, like something about the relationship. Maybe my expectations are different or something. I don't remember what it was. And maybe they are. It's like a lot of you guys, I've never met you. I never even talked to you, but a lot of you feel like you know me very well because you've been watching me, listening to me. You know my thoughts, my emotions, everything for years. And when I do meet you in person, a lot of you say the same things. It's like, dude, I feel like I've known you like for so many years, like, and it's like, I get that. I get that because you know, when you watch somebody or you talk to somebody, even you feel like you know them even more. You have a rapport, you have like a certain mutual respect, you have a lot of things. And so I you know, it is what it is. But whatever the case was, they did offer, and unfortunately there's just no way I could make that trip. It was already long. It's already a really long flight, man. And I tell you what, sitting there for like 4 hours, just hoping you don't start free falling is like a real pain in the ass. So anyway, let's finish up here with some comments and see what's going on. Man, there's almost 1,300 of you now. It's like, what do these notifications just take a really long time to go out or what? It's a good day when Crow goes live. Oh, well, thank you. I see my cousin Alex in the house. Crow, what's going on, man? I'm glad you're here as always. Cardano is in a Wyckoff pattern. SOS phase is to 95 cents. You know what, man? Once we break above 83, 84 cents, we hold above that. We close some candles above it. I will be elated because then I'll be ready for like over $1. And you know, would Cardano get every market cycle, man? It's the same thing. When Cardano breaks above $1 and like holds it, it's like everybody knows it's game on. So that'll be a really big deal, and I can't wait. And I'm hoping you guys didn't just hear me take that drink, because when YouTubers do that and I'm watching them, I want to smack them right in the mouth. So I'm sorry if I did that because it's so annoying. Do you just follow the flux, or is it a combination with trade travel? It's a combo. What I've been doing is I'm still learning. I'm almost through the beginner elements of her course, which is like 3 pages long, and I don't even know how many videos. It's like 20 something videos. I'm almost through all that, and I just realized today that there's a whole master level course out after that, which I'm actually really excited for. But I would like, when I was talking to Michael at Flux today, because they want to create a custom indicator suite for me to basically help me do everything that I do, because I have a lot of little systems inside bigger systems that I look for. And there are a lot of different trade setups that I look for. I love to trade that market open. I'm like a crackhead for that market open. I used to generally wake up at 10 o'clock in the morning, go to bed at like 2 a.m. every night. Not anymore, baby. I'm so addicted to day trading now on a level that, because I'm making more educated trades, and I'm making trades. I do some degenerate shit every once in a while. I'm not going to lie, because I get impulsive, and I'm listening to these audio books like when I'm driving, or sometimes when I'm taking a nap. Yes, I take a nap. I'm old, people. That's what old people do. But I fall asleep listening to like trading audiobooks, and they always say, you know, basically don't do a lot of the dumb shit that I do sometimes, you know, like your revenge trading, your impulse trading, your all of that. And I do a lot of that, and a lot of it's experimenting, because I'm taking notes on the outcomes and like why did I do this? What was the outcome? What pushed me out? Why didn't I hold? Blah blah blah. But I do a combination of things, and I have different setups that I look for. So I'm actually super jacked about Flux Charts hooking me up. Like we just had a 2-hour call today. Like everything that I want, everything that I'm looking for, you know, all the different things that I do and why and all of that. So I don't know how long it's going to take, but yeah, I do the market maker method, in addition to my own individual trade setups that are not necessarily a part of the market maker method, but they're just small time frame things that I look for on during different time periods. And then what happens, like what happened today, I saw the W in the chart. I saw the first rise, and I'm like, okay, I missed that one. I want to get into the second one. But I was unsure, right? Because there's like, all the bills are passing and all this stuff is happening. I'm like, I don't know what to do. All right, I think I'm going to make the trade. And when I went back to the chart, I saw that the flux indicator had triggered a long and then gave me the 3 take profits. Well, those 3 take profits were about where I was planning my take profits if I entered that trade anyway. And I'm like, oh my God, this is destiny. So then I entered that trade. So I use sometimes I will, if I don't see a lot going on, or I just like whatever, I'll see what flux chart, I'll turn it on and I'll see what it's showing me. And if I like it, or I feel like, okay, this makes sense, then I'll enter the trade. But generally I'm such a wuss that I'll get out. And this is what I've done so many times with the flux charts indicator. And I'm not joking. I'll get in the trade, and then I take my money and run after the first take profit. and then I'll come back like the next day and I'll see that all 3 of them hit, like while I was sleeping or like whatever. And then I kick myself in the ass. And I just did it again today while I was on the phone with Michael. I made a quick $600. But I told him what I do, and I'm like, patience is a problem for me. And he's like, yeah, man, you got to work on your patience, bro. And there was money left on the table, but I'm like, I took my trade out. Now it's since come back down, and it'll probably work its way back up. But hopefully that answers your question in a very long-winded way. But yes, I really do love my flux charts. I love and there are so many different things. I don't keep it all on all the time. I will say that too. I have my different time frames. I'm looking for my different setups. I'm looking for my M's and my W's and my first rise and my vector candles and all that stuff. But I reference my flux chart indicators when I feel like I already have an idea of what's going on. I'm trying to eyeball it directly with the candles and like the fair value gaps and, sell liquidity zones, all that. I'm trying to do it on my own in my head. But then what I'll do is I'll turn the indicators on, and then it'll put it all on screen, and then I can verify. Okay, I got that. Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, and I use it as a reference while I'm learning. But the SFX, that's baller, man. Like that one is I've never seen anything like that one. I'm not joking. I told him today, I was like, dude, whatever you guys build for me, I want my own SFX indicator in the midst of it. He's like, oh, we could do that, no problem. I'm telling you, it's baller. So, take it as you will. And I told him also, and I told him today, we talked for 2 hours. I said, listen, man, I was like, I call it as I see it. And I explained to him how, like, in the past I would do segment reviews for cryptos and they would pay me, and I would still come out and I'd be like, look, this is crap, or they're just trying to scam me, or like whatever. And like I didn't have any problem taking a scammer's money, like, and I told him that, and I'm like, but I really do love this indicator, and I love the way it helps me, and it helps me get confidence, because I'm really trying to become a real day trader. Like I want to learn this as a skill I can rely on, that I can do anytime, year round, every day. I love it. You know what I do all day? I wake up at 7 a.m. I look at the chart. I prepare everything for market open, and I'm waiting for my trade setup at market open, which I've broken down now a couple times on cryptocrow.io. I've explained it. I've got all my stuff. I'll watch like a course video while I'm setting it up. And then when I'm working through it and I enter a trade, while I'm waiting for my trade, so I'm not getting frantic, I'll play RimWorld. So that's what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm getting addicted to RimWorld and trading. And that's basically what I'm doing now for like 14 straight hours. And then I'll take breaks and I'll like write content for cryptocrow.io. I'll put out my thoughts or whatever. And that's what I'm doing literally every day now. And I love it. I'm having fun. I don't come live constantly like I used to, but I'm enjoying my time more. And I'm like, I have to focus on me a little bit at this point. And it's like, I want to get back to learning something new. I'm bored of the majority of the crypto space. I really am. I'm bored of it. It's all trash. There's so much of the crypto stuff is all trash and tribalism and negativity. And I've just kind of pulled myself back away from a lot of that and just focus on stuff that I can control. And that's me learning a new trade and getting myself, deep into the right systems, the right people, the right tools that I think are really going to help me get to where I want to be. I want to get to a point where I'm like legit earning like 20 grand a month trading, day trading. And on top of that, and I forgot, I didn't even put the link, but BitUnix, man, I mean, they've been helping me and taking care of me. I went back to BitUnix because I genuinely liked the exchange, like no bullshit. I went back because I like the way I can just slide my take profit and my stop losses and all that on the interface. And the only problem I've had with BitUnix lately is disconnects, where it like has to refresh itself. And apparently it's a known issue that they're working on. It's not just like, that's just how it is. I guess it's a known issue. But if you go to cryptocrow.io and you click the links tab, all the links for all the stuff I'm into, BitUnix, Flux charts, all of that, it's all there. So make sure you check out that page. But yeah, man, but I deposited a decent little amount of money, like just because I wanted to use the exchange. And I think because of that, they realized that I wasn't jerking them around and they added to it. They gave me a trade bonus. So I was like, you know what? I'm sticking with you guys. Because I've already had like 2 different offers for 2 other exchanges wanting to pay me. And I'm like, nope, I'm happy where I'm at. So I'm not planning on bouncing around. Price prediction I did was low range $11 and high on $45. Yeah, that's crazy high. You talk the 45, maybe 2050, maybe 2050. I don't know. May the pump be with you. There are 1,500 of you guys watching. I'll bet you if I look, there's probably like 100 likes. Like, who's this gray-haired ogre talking on YouTube? What was this guy talking about? Was that 50,000 ADA? Are you saying you have 50,000 ADA? Ava Angel's in the house. What's going on? When are you gonna put something in that avatar there? All these anonymous avatars everywhere. Cardano's ripping. What is it at the moment? Let me double check real quick. I just got a notification. Ethereum just hit $3,500 just now. That was 16 minutes ago. Ethereum has been surging, man. Everything. Oh shit! Cardano's at 83 cents, y'all. Oh, 83 cents. It's up 8.7% in the last 24 hours. And Cardano just keeps outperforming. It's blowing my mind. It's blowing my mind. And on top of that, I should get out of by the time I get back down to my trade desk, I should be at profit on my trade. I'm telling you, if you guys had any idea how wildly addictive to day, and you know what? I had somebody comment and they're like, you're addicted to day trading because it's like gambling. No, it's not why. I'm not even making a lot of money right now, and I'm not doing it for the money. It's like the thrill of learning something so complex with so many variables and so many things. I get a rush when I get it right. Like I get it's really not even about the money. It's about looking at these little lines on a page and figuring out what they mean and where they're going to go next. And like all of the patterns and I love a pattern. But I don't know. It's really not about the money. It really isn't. It's the challenge. I love the challenge of it. And what I really love is when somebody asked me on Crow's Nest, on the cryptocrow.io site, if I would let people, because BitUnix allows you to do copy trading. And somebody was like, hey, can we copy trade you? And I'm like, hey, no, no, you can't. I'm not going to let anybody copy trade me right now because I'm still learning and I don't want anybody copy trading me. I do a lot of like dumb shit, like just because I'm like, I wonder what'll happen here. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I don't want anybody copy trading me. Like, I want you to learn. Like, that's why I'm putting these like journal entries and these different things on the website, and I'm publishing those on the website so that I want you to learn while I'm learning. I don't want you to do as I do. You might learn something better or quicker than I do, and maybe vice versa. But I don't want anybody following my trades right now. Maybe someday. What's up, Wendell LTC? When did you create that? When LTC was the thing, when Litecoin was like a baller? I'm sure Litecoin's even gone up too, a little bit. I don't know. I haven't looked at Litecoin in so many years. I like the vibe of night lives. I like the nightlife. I love the boogie. Crypto Chef in the house, always with all of his love and support. CryptoCrow.io. Dave is in the house. What's going on, my man? Hanford Cool Crow. I don't know what you're talking about, brother. I don't know what you mean. Dave, another user using a Murder of Crows NFT as his PFP. Yeah, where are all the Murder of Crows avatars in the house? How about that? Can't wait. Love Cardano and the vision. Go Ada. Absolutely, man. I'm super pumped about all of this. I'm super pumped. I'm happy because I'm learning again. I'm like the markets are going up and things are starting to look up, and we've got these crypto bills in process. And I joked about it on X, but I was just kind of like, when the market goes up, everybody's anger subsides. You notice that there's a lot less bickering and bitching, and it's like to everyone's credit though, especially if you've been in the crypto market now for a few years at least. I would say if you've been in the crypto market for like the last 4.5, 5 years, the difference between like last market cycle and this one, but you also know the similarities. And it's like, there are a lot of similarities, and I think there's always a new narrative, and there's always like, oh, everything is so different. So far, this isn't that different. The only thing that's different was the fake out with the ETFs that sent everything up for a little while, and it just had everybody believing that it was something it wasn't. Hanford is a town familiar to me, so it caught me a little off guard. Oh, okay. I had no idea what you're talking about. Cardano is going to be everything we wanted. I think Cardano is already everything we wanted. It's about to get even more, honestly. I mean, midnight, come on. How can to any of you guys in chat, I implore you to go read the midnight white paper and tell me it's not one of the coolest things you've ever read in tech. I'm not joking at all. Just the potential and like everything. I'm telling you guys right now, and I know that a lot of you guys are watching. There's 1,651 of you. I know that every one of you guys that are watching are here because you're at least interested in Cardano. If not, you've been watching me for years and you've been kind of going up and down with the markets with me since 2017. I know many of you are OGs to the Crow community, and I'm telling you, there is going to be a day. And I don't think it's going to be in the distant future. I think it's going to be in the not so distant future where Cardano is reigned with a crown in crypto. And by that, I mean, a lot of the primary institutional financial applications that exist in crypto are going to be entrusted to Cardano for different reasons over a lot of the things that have been pushed, I would say, to some extent, unfairly, prematurely, and falsely due to cash. That's what I think. And I think that the proof is going to consistently rise to the top. The proof is going to be in the pudding. And we're already seeing elements of that. Cardano is one of the most bustling cryptocurrencies in the marketplace right now. Out of what? How many millions of tokens are there? Now, granted, a lot of them are shitcoin, meme coin, pet rocks that nobody really cares about outside of like trying to speculate on them and try to pull their profit out before it gets rug pulled and all of that nonsense. But when you're talking about real decentralized technology, man, I don't care. Charles has created IOH, everybody associated. It's not just Charles, but like Charles and everyone involved. Everyone at IOHK, and I don't know, man. I think that we're going to see a real reckoning in the crypto space when you know what I'm visualizing. I'll tell you what I'm visualizing. I'm visualizing a period where everybody puts on their sunglasses and they see, it's like the movie They Live. You know what I'm talking about with was it Rowdy Rodney Piper, when he puts on these glasses and he can see who are real human beings and who are like aliens that are like fooling everyone into thinking they're real. I think we're going to have a day when, everybody's just going to get these glasses put on their faces and they're going to see the reality of the cryptocurrency space. And they're going to realize like how much grifting there has been in the crypto space for years that's gone unchecked, untouched, unrecognized. And, and I really do believe that. And unfortunately, with that, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to get really burned. And I think that if you're really paying attention to what the government is saying, what they're laying out, and like their clarity bill and just all of the different bills and how they anticipate monitoring and observing and regulating cryptocurrencies based on XYZ, there's nothing better than Cardano. Just telling you straight up. There's nothing better than Cardano in the crypto space as it relates to functionality, throughput, interoperability, the smart contract functionality, privacy, all of that fun stuff, but then compliance. And that's going to be huge. The decentralized nature of Cardano that so many people have been trying to push aside, venture capitalists. A lot of these venture capitalists, they're afraid of losing so much of their multi-million-dollar investments into shitty assets that they've been pushing with these false narratives and paid-for media that Cardano's never done, because it's decentralized, because there's not even really an arm to do that with. It's not driven by venture capitalist interests. It's driven by technology meant to change the world. As Charles has said many times over, we have been competing with a devilish arm of the cryptocurrency space fueled by greed. And that's it. And when it comes to greed doesn't give a shit who it burns, who it touches, what it changes in the world to the negative. You see all these chains and all, like the pump fund and all of the degeneracy associated with that. Not only do they not care, they go out and they launch their own token to try and have a more direct access to the people that they want to try and take advantage of, in my opinion. And I think it's dirty, it's low down, and it's bullshit. And I think that the veil is going to be pulled back on so many of these projects. And I know that for the sake of interoperability and for the sake of everybody working together and getting along and trying to achieve a state that all of us are able to flourish in a multitude of ways, depending on our interests and the applications and the things we want to do. Not only that, but the way that we want to use it as it relates to artificial intelligence and basically what's coming down that future road. And the current road. I don't know of an asset. I don't know of a blockchain that is going to be capable of handling everything that AI, real world use case, the financial markets, and everyone else. I don't know of a blockchain that's going to be able to handle it, and not only handle it, but handle it without crashing, handle it in a secure way without hacks, handle it in the way that Cardano will. There is no second fucking best. To me, Cardano is it. That's all there is to it. It's only going to continue getting better. And as it does continue getting better, I anticipate it's almost like the conversation I once had as a kid. And this is a little personal, but this just hit me. It was when I was a kid, and I used to, I was everybody knows at this point, like I felt like I was being called to be a priest. Okay. And I really did. I was having dreams. See, I'm not getting emotional about the crypto shit. I get emotional about like my childhood sometimes and things, but I think about how I would have conversations with my aunt, because around that time I really felt like I was being called for something. But at the same time, all these dark things would happen as well that made no sense. And I remember talking to my aunt, and she would say, listen, the closer you get to God, the closer you get to your faith, and I'm not here to preach to you, okay? I'm not at all. This isn't a lecture. It's basically what happened. But she would tell me, like, the more you find yourself in religion and your faith, the more that will be tested by the devil. Okay. And yeah, it was, and it scared the shit out of me, and it scared me away from something that I, to some extent, regret to this day, which I think is a lot of the reason why I do what I do on YouTube. And I am always trying to like just give it to everybody straight. I'm trying to be a voice of reason. I try to be a voice of integrity, of like just all of the things that I feel like I should have been doing in a different path, but I didn't. And so I'm trying to make up for that in different ways. I try to help as many people as I can in the ways that I can, right? And that's kind of what I try to do while I'm taking care of my family and living the life I want to live at the same time. Nobody gets hurt. Everybody gets something. Everybody does well. Everybody grows together. That's kind of my MO. That's my hope, right? And like, I think about all of these other cryptocurrencies, these other assets, the people that drive them, the people that push them, and the way they have all worked in concert to try and suppress and oppress Cardano from the media, from news stories. It's always been the brunt of every joke, every poke, every bullshit article I've ever read. It's always using Cardano as like the launching pad, because it wants to take the community, its prowess, its dream, its goal, its tech, it's everything that it's done right. The only one that I've seen really do things the right way in a very pure, and you know what? We can all say whatever the fuck we want about Charles, right? He can get shitty with people on X. He can get, moody here, moody there. He's tired of everybody taking jabs at him. He probably feels the same way about me, and I get it. But the reality is that when you put so much of your blood, sweat, tears, money, and time, everything you put into something as solid as Cardano to achieve everything that it's achieving and everything it's going to achieve, and you have literally everyone else in the world trying to dunk on you, trying to like feed off of your growth, feed off of everything you're doing, both out of fear and to propel themselves. At what point do you draw the line, right? At what point do you say, you know what? It doesn't matter anymore because the proof is rising. The proof is in the pudding. It's rising. Everybody's starting to really recognize it for the behemoth that it is in the blockchain space. And, you know, when I do a video like this where I talk about, you know, Cardano price prediction and, you know, it doesn't really mean shit. You know why? Because in my opinion, every Cardano price prediction is going to hit at some point. It's just a matter of time because it's going nowhere. And there's no way any of these other competitive blockchains are going to ever be able to hold a candle to everything and anything that's being done right now. So it is what it is. Eric Osborne, you prevented me from selling my ADO when sentiment was in the gutter. Thanks for being there for us. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. And, you know, I get people that ask me a lot of different questions about like, what should I do? What should I buy? How should I trade? How should I do this? And like, look, if I am not confident in the answer, I'm not giving it to you. That's it. Just the same way somebody's asking to copy trade me on BitUnix. No, you can't, because I don't want to do that to you. I'm not good enough. I don't have the confidence. I don't have the trust in myself to not make the best decision at every turn. But when it comes to something like Cardano, I'll scream it from the rooftops because I believe in it. I have believed in it since 2017, and I continue to believe in it. And so, yeah, in that sense, yeah, I love it. I love it. Spoopy, Big Jason, you're the man. How's the wife and cats? She's at cheerleading. My daughter started cheerleading. I guess she's going to be a back spot somebody because she's so tall. My daughter's so tall. She's so cute. She's such a nerd. She's beautiful. And she's so smart. I just love her. She's so addicted to K-pop. I was literally jamming out to K-pop with her the other day because I took her to cheer. And but my wife is doing great. She's just doing phenomenal with dance and everything. Yeah, we're more like 372% from the all-time high, but I'm still confident we'll get there. Well, keep in mind, the last 100, and I've done this in a video, the last 140 days of the previous market cycle, Cardano jumped over 640%. That was the last 140 days of the previous cycle. So, yeah, we'll get there. I'm not worried about that. It is literally all a matter of time. I see some comments and I'm like, you must be new. Like, yeah. The Clarity Act is huge for Cardano. Yeah, exactly. That's a part of my point. It is huge for Cardano. And you know, I'm not really worried. You know what? Been in 7 years, and I'm pretty sure you have, because I'm pretty sure you've been in my chat and on my videos for that long, Ava. So thank you for showing up all the time. There was a little window where you disappeared on me. I don't know what happened to you. I hope everything was okay, but yeah, you've pretty much always been around. Midnight will advance Cardano by leaps and bounds. Well, you know, and if it does, so be it. But the reality is that it's really just an extension of Cardano as well as other chains. And if it acts as a major unifier between multiple blockchains, but they're all ultimately operating within the Cardano ecosystem, you know, I mean, cool. I'm here for that. I'm here for that. So, all right, I am going to sign off. I have been live and rambling and yambling for almost an hour. I will see you guys tomorrow from Karate Combat in Miami. If you're there, you might want to attend. Otherwise, you're going to miss out. There's 2 events, Friday night, Saturday night. And if you don't have the app, make sure you go download that. And please support my sponsors, BitUnix, Flux Charts. I'm telling you, Flux Charts is a golden one. And that's it for now. Until next time, guys, thanks for joining me tonight. Crow your coins, and I'll see you again soon. Peace.